Well, I think I'm very thankful for this particular episode of the Here and Now podcast. Of course, I feel that way every time I listen to these, um, but it's so nice to have taken in so much of the lectures and the learning to be able to now go and reference the pieces that I need to apply to me where I am now, right? So I think what stands out for me here is the idea that it's like a guy. So I'm listening to a podcast, right, called Here and Now about Ram Dass, who is a person named Richard, who was highly intelligent and educated and part of all the highest prestigious schools, but who needed to experience for himself to really understand the application to the knowledge that he was absorbing. And so he made connections, and the podcast is hosted by a guy who is talking about his experience with his friend, um, and also part of his story of awakening and awareness. And the cool thing is that this guy originates from Montreal, and he started out as a rock DJ on a radio station, and I just think that's really cool. And so basically this one is about the Four Noble Truths, which I feel really do apply to my world anyways. And one is that all life is suffering. And I take that as in anything that's alive is suffering, because everything has a timeline. And everything alive has an experience and a relationship with death, be it long term, short term, here, anywhere. And part of my understanding about death, in terms of who I am as a person here, is layered. And part of it can be a physical death, but it can also just be an emotional death. It can be giving up an idea. That is a death, right? If you really look at it and reflect. So all life is suffering. We are. Empathy tells us. The stories exist. We know. Animals, plants, the earth, everyone in it, right? Past, future, all that stuff. The cause of suffering is craving. And that can be as big or as small as we want to make it. And sometimes I just crave attention. Sometimes I crave a hug, a phone call, a sandwich, a smooch. And so the cause of suffering is craving. So then giving up craving and suffering. Well, that's easier said than done. But what if we give up the act of craving instead of what the thing is that we're craving? So we change the focus. And by we, I mean me, right? Me, myself, and I. The royal we. So what if I give up just craving things? And how can I do that? Well, I crave food, but I can crave food that makes me feel good. I crave attention, but I can try to seek attention in ways that result in positive outcomes. I crave company, but it's only if I am comfortable and safe with that company and feeling mutual love and respect and that we're on the same page, right? And then the fourth noble truth was that there's an eightfold path right? So that's referencing that, like, this is in terms of this video, it's referencing the conversation that was being had with the guru in the experience of Ram Dass and his friend who does a podcast that I listen to. And it was really cool because it was sort of also touching on Christ consciousness, which, you know, when we think about terms like what would Jesus do and stuff like that, it's really kind of referencing that, right? And this guy from Montreal says to this guru, like, he asks, what about Jesus, right? And he describes the guru, the Hindi guru in India, talking about Jesus and crying, and he says, he kept repeating, he never died, he never died. He was lost in love. He was one with all beings. He had a great love for all in the world. He lives in the heart of all beings. And I found that profound because, in a sense, right, we could be talking about, like, everybody's sort of global idea of Jesus, or the mainstream idea of it, or the biblical version of whichever religion or whatever we want to talk about. We all have a different idea of who he is or was or what he represents. But in the grand scheme of things, in the bigger picture, where we're more than just our physical body, where we're more than just a collection of our memories, where there's something magical and unique in everybody. It could be said that there are big parts of Jesus that never died, because in the universe, in the grand scheme of the universe, we're all connected, right? Everything living is connected, including my dog, right? Okay, Mama, I'm almost done. So I love that, because in one way, right, he never died. He is still part of it, because the universe is everlasting. The universe is part of everything that has always been and that always will be, at least from my perspective, right? Because I come from family who existed for generations before I came here, and even though I don't have any children, I have family members as part of that same lineage who are already going on to continue to live and create new life and to generate new people and to have new experiences. And it's beautiful to witness. It's incredible to be part of. And it's just amazing, right? So when we look at the notion that desire, which are cravings, creates the universe that we're all part of, then we kind of individually need to get beyond our own attachments and how I relate the we, again, because it's me, myself, and I, as a non-binary person. How do I get beyond the attachments? Right? And I know the areas in which I've had success, I got beyond many attachments. I've lost weight. I've gained health. I'm recovering. I'm healing. I'm happy. I'm in a beautiful place. And I'm right here right now, right? So I don't know, I just loved, I loved that. And I love this ability and these tools to be able to say that and reflect on it and to post it. And to come back tomorrow or when I come back and take it in again. So I do it here because when I think of all life is suffering and the cause of suffering is craving, well, I'm going to try, but I have some plants at the other end of this. And while I know they're okay, they're going to need water. They're going to need to be moved around and cared for and checked in on. And I, for one, wouldn't want to see that not happen because I'm suffering in some way. And especially if it's this pile that's creating the discomfort. So, how do I get beyond it? One piece at a time. So, namaste, everybody. I love you. I hope you're well. And here we are. From here to fruition.